welcome back to the Brandon's World Merry Christmas special. And here now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to play Fair or Foul, what is now slowly becoming a Brandon's World tradition here at the end of the year with my good buddy. He hosted this show once previously this year. He's also been a guest on Championship Rings as well as Brandon's World. The one, the only Detroit Lions fan, Jalen Sandvick.
Boys, girls, everybody, it's Christmas time. I got some questions to throw Brandon through a loop. I'm ready. I know you guys are ready. You know, last year was a lot of foul, but I don't know how he's going to lean this year. So let's do it.
I don't remember that. Off the top of my head, I really don't. I know last year we did fair or foul. We did it earlier in the year in June or July when we did buy, sell, or hold, and then it went over so well with our audience. I wanted to do it for the Christmas special, and it sort of stuck. So before Jalen starts, I do want to tell everybody that I told Jalen that, you know, usually when we do these, we've done in the past an NBA-centric episode, we've done an NFL-centric episode. Because this is all going to go up as one clip, I've told Jalen he can move around topics. He can talk about 2024. He can talk about 2025. He can talk about something that's not sports related. That anything was fair game. We're going to go about an hour here, and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I possibly can in that time frame. So without further ado, let's do it. The first question, fair or foul?
First question, coming in hot off of my PC here. A little bit off air, we talked about this. This one's about Dan Campbell.
Okay.
Dan Campbell has Coach of the Year locked down, no question.
Ooh. Okay. You know what? Off rip. Don't be mad at me. But I'm gonna say foul. And
wow.
Here's why. Here is why. Because I don't think Coach of the Year necessarily goes to the team with the best record. And we've seen that happen in years past. I think Coach of the Year usually goes to the team that nobody expects to either be really good, A, or B, a team that nobody thought would make the playoffs is going to be in the playoffs. And so I love Dan Campbell. I love the Lions story, but there are a lot of people that picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl this year. So I think the Lions' expectations to this point have been met. My three Coach of the Year candidates are Mike Tomlin from Pittsburgh, Sean Payton in Denver, and Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. I think that those are three teams. I thought Denver was going to be good. I did not think they were going to be a playoff team. They have over-exceeded expectations, in my opinion. Pittsburgh has definitely over-exceeded expectations. I did not think there was a shot in hell they could win that division, even though they are the Steelers. And then Minnesota, who I thought would be the best fourth-place team potentially of all time, you know, is there. I also think Mike McDonald in Seattle, what he's done, that group is in first place in the division. Incredible. You know, so those are candidates that I think more under the radar, more so than the Lions. It's not that Dan has not done a great job, Jalen. It's that I think by definition, Coach of the Year is sort of that underdog team.
You know, notice how you said it won't be Dan Campbell because we're exceeding expectations and we were supposed to be here. Well, you notice how when everyone's talking about Coach of the Year, they're not putting Nick Sirianni there?
Oh, you're a funny guy. I get you.
I hate Nick Sirianni.
Well, hopefully for both of our fan bases, we will be seeing Nick Sirianni and Dan Campbell have a competition to see who can make a worse fourth down decision in the NFC Championship game.
He won the game. He won the game, Brandon. He knew that they couldn't stop Jordan Love, and he won the game.
I got a text from you that literally said I would have not done it.
I'm not Dan Campbell. I don't drink 15 espressos a day.
He stopped drinking 15 espressos a game.
What is he on now? Pure Coke? He's like
Yes.
this
Oh,
man. This man has the biggest testicles in all of Michigan and all of Detroit. And every
all of
50.
sports easily. I'll say that.
Oh my
I admire
goodness.
Dan Campbell. I'm a very aggressive guy. I was not doing what he did against the Green Bay Packers. I just think again, it is going to come back to cost the Lions at some point, whether it's in a regular season game, which you hope, or it's in a big playoff game, or dare I say, even the Super Bowl.
Listen, Dan made mistakes last year, but that's not the topic of this video, okay? It's fair or foul. I will fight till the death for you, Dan. You know this. Okay, you ready for my next one?
Let's do it.
My next one is entering a world that we both love and we have a lot of passion for, the World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE, the WWF, whatever some of you call it. We're gonna talk about Cody Rhodes, okay? Cody, the main event of next year's WrestleMania will be Cody Rhodes, The Rock, and Roman Reigns in a triple threat match for the title.
Okay. If we were to do this 5 days ago, I would have said the answer was fair. Sitting here right now, I think the answer is foul, though I want the answer to be fair. Because with all the reports that are coming out about CM Punk potentially wrestling Seth Rollins on the first Raw on Netflix, I think WWE is pivoting. I think we are going to get Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the custody, if you will, of Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 41, and Cody will face the final boss one-on-one.
So we're getting another Dom Mysterio type match. What are they going to do? Put Paul Heyman in a shark cage?
By the way, I want to let everybody know that we are recording this prior to Saturday night's main event, so if there is any championship title changes and it seems totally far off or whatever have you, that's the reason for it. I don't know. They could put Paul Heyman on a ladder and someone has to touch him.
Speaking of Saturday night's main event, Jesse Ventura back where it all started. One of my favorite commentators, one of my favorite characters in wrestling history, Jesse Body Ventura, plus the Wings belt. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
Oh boy, we're back. We are back. Some of you might be playing OG Fortnite right now. That's what this feels like. This is OG wrestling, and I'm here for it. And boy, it's gonna be a fun ride Saturday. I tell you that. All right, so you're going foul on that. I really thought you would go fair on that.
I wanted to be fair, and I've said it was fair up until this week because I think plans have changed after Survivor Series.
I'm pretty sure the Raw after the Rumble is in Cleveland, correct?
I already have my tickets.
Okay, are we on Netflix at that point?
We are.
Okay, so this is a little sidetrack, but I want to get your opinion on this. How rowdy do you think this Cleveland crowd is going to get?
I think this has the potential to be one of the best Raws of all time. If what I think will happen at the Royal Rumble may happen,
I will be there.
The final boss walking out of the Royal Rumble, the undisputed WWE champion.
Okay. But that segues perfectly into my next question. The Royal Rumble winner will be Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay. So, Jalen, I'll tell you right now, before Survivor Series, I don't know if you got a chance to hear my interview with Michael Reiner. I told you about Michael before. I think he is one of the most astute, passionate, professional wrestling fans on this planet. He thinks through booking like nobody I've ever met before in my life. I love talking long term strategic booking with Mr. Reiner. When we talked and we previewed Survivor Series, I had thought going into the Royal Rumble, this is what was going to happen. The undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, The Rock would happen. The Rock would defeat Cody Rhodes and become the undisputed champion. I thought the OTC, the only, not the original, the only tribal chief, Mr. Solo Sikoa, the undisputed champion in my mind, Roman Reigns, would win the Royal Rumble match. Cody Rhodes would do to Roman Reigns what The Rock tried to do to Cody Rhodes last year, which was take his spot. That's how we got a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. Now, I am not so sure. To answer your question about Rollins, I am going to stay foul on this. I don't know now what the plan for WrestleMania 41 is for Seth Rollins if it's not CM Punk. I don't think it will be in a championship match because I do believe, and again, I know Saturday night's main event, I know there's a World Championship match coming up, but I do believe that at WrestleMania 41, the ring general will still be the world champion, and he will defend that belt against the 16-time world champion, John Cena.
And that'll be John Cena's going home match?
No, it will not. John Cena will lose that match against Gunther. He will win the world championship sometime in his retirement tour in 2025, but he will lose to the ring general in the main event of night one of WrestleMania 41.
So I've seen a lot of questions about John Cena. Now this one has to do with Mr. You Can't See Me, Mr. Hustle Royalty Respect. If you couldn't tell on my document, I'm knees deep into the wrestling questions. I have a lot of them. So I've seen a lot about this and I don't hate it. John Cena will retire an Intercontinental Champion.
No, 100% that is foul.
Come on, Brandon.
John C. Wait, are you saying that he? Wait a minute. I need to get the question right. Is he retiring with the Intercontinental Championship belt, or he just going to win the title along the way?
He's going to win the title along the way.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like he was going to retire as champion.
No.
I'm still going to say foul to that. I think that Cena will have bigger things to fry than the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think he will become a Grand Slam champion.
That one hurts. That one hurts 10-year-old me and every 10-year-old who watched John Cena for years. That one stings.
So,
all right.
So right now we're like what, 0 for 4 in terms of fairs?
0 for 4 in wrestling. I can't wait till I even touch the NBA.
Well, I guess I'm making contact with the ball and it's going out of play backwards.
You're sitting there. You're swinging like Jose Ramirez in the playoffs right now.
I guess I'm very late on my timing, apparently.
All right. This is the last wrestling question I'll go to, but this is fresh. This is new. This is about. Can we call them the New Day? Because is it?
Oh, okay.
Big E is gonna wrestle either Kofi or Woods at WrestleMania.
There's your first. He's going to wrestle both of them. It is going to be a triple threat match. Big E is going to return at the Royal Rumble. They're going to try to do the Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston classic Royal Rumble save spot. And Big E is going to throw him out of the ring. And that's how we get the triple threat between the members of the New Day, who will then reunite I think the New Day will come back as baby faces. I do like this new direction of Kofi and Woods. I did not think they would get Dominic Mysterio level heat on their first night as heels in nearly a decade, but kudos to them.
What do you mean? They trashed a man who broke his neck. Excuse me, who broke his neck. What do you mean they were going to give Dominic Mysterio level heat?
I just didn't know it was going to be that bad. I knew they were going to get booed. I didn't realize it was going to be to the point where I was seeing videos on the internet of fans in the crowd. You literally could not hear them when they were talking into their microphones.
You got to love professional wrestling. You got to love it. All right. Now we're going to scroll. I'm going to do a little scroll here. I'm going to scroll to my favorite sport, the NBA.
Sport I'm not too happy with right now outside of one team.
Yeah. Did you catch the Rockets game yesterday? We're recording this, but yeah, yesterday.
I did not. I was busy at the time of this recording watching the penultimate episode of Survivor season 47. By the way, if you watch that show, you get the reference. Season 47. Phenomenal part one of a two-part finale. A lot more entertaining than NBA guys shooting bricks from the three-point line.
All right. It was a great game yesterday in H-Town. I don't want to hear it. But anyway, we're going to talk about our beloved Cleveland Cavaliers. Real hot right now. Real hot. So, this one says, come playoff time, Darius Garland will A, be an all-star this year, and B, make an impact in the playoffs.
You know what? I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I mean, what evidence do I have that says he's not going to? Jalen, I'm at the point where I'm being totally real with you. If this Cavaliers team does not make the Eastern Conference Finals, and as I have said recently to Josh or you, maybe even on Championship Rings and other Brandon's World shows, if the Cleveland Cavaliers do not make the NBA Finals this year, barring a catastrophic injury, I know Evan Mobley had to lead the game against Miami. We'll see what his status is. Sounds like it's not going to be too bad of an injury. If the Cleveland Cavaliers are healthy, this team is bare floor Eastern Conference Finals. Their ceiling should be winning the NBA championship. That's how good they are.
I told you this, and I told you before the season even started. You called me nuts.
Well, I did not realize that just a change in offensive philosophy, I knew it was needed, but I did not think Kenny Atkinson was going to be able to unlock this. I mean, they have 8 guys that shoot, 3-point shots. If those guys make 2 each a game, they're almost unbeatable.
Listen, I told you this, and you know what you said? Jalen, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers going to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing to Boston, and you know what I said? I said, damn straight I do. Because right. I believe in this team. I believed in this team as soon as we got rid of JB doesn't rest his starters, Bickerstaff.
JB Bickerstaff deserves to be in jail for what he did to my psyching of this Cleveland Cavaliers team. He made me think that Evan Mobley wasn't worth a top 3 pick in the draft.
He also made you think Karis LeVert was the worst player you've ever seen.
Karis LeVert was the worst player I've ever seen under Bickerstaff. He dribbled the ball off his foot constantly. Now all he does is catch and shoot. Kenny Atkinson knows this. Well, he probably told him, don't dribble the ball. Just shoot.
Speaking of that, you know who plays basketball Friday? You know who's back in the lineup? Our boy.
By the way, that's not true. They just revealed right before our recording, Max Strus is out.
Oh, I want this rotation with Max so bad. You have no idea.
So I got a question for you. We'll do a little fair or foul for you here. I'll ask it this way. Fair or foul, when Strus does come back, he is in the starting lineup.
Oh, man. Damn. I say foul.
Okay.
I say foul just because I think the rotation you have going right now is so hot and so good together that, and Strus, we don't know the.
bench as another 3-point shooter to go along with Jerome and Levert. It's another weapon, another scoring option off the second unit.
Can you imagine him and Merrill out there together? The
Yeah.
amount of screens that would be set. Oh, it'd be so beautiful. It'd be so beautiful.
Hey,
Anyways,
not to be a racist guy here, but two white guys on the court in an NBA game that can shoot. That's pretty good.
when's the last time that happened? Kevin Love and Kyle Korver?
Seriously.
All right. Okay, we're gonna cycle. We're gonna talk about the Western Conference now. We're gonna talk about your MVP. You picked this man to be MVP. So we're gonna talk about Shea. You picked Shea to be the MVP.
I did. He is the front runner, I believe, right now to be MVP.
You did. And we're gonna talk about his Thunder. The Thunder will have no problem getting past the rest of the West and entering an NBA Finals.
Okay, you have to define no problems. Does this mean like no 7-game series?
Yes, they'll get it done in 6 or less.
Okay. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm actually gonna say fair to that.
Wow.
I think the West is down this year. I don't trust Golden State. I think that they're very Steph Curry dependent. If something were to happen to him, I don't think those young guys are going to be able to be that great in the playoffs on an entire series. Minnesota is off to a mess. That Julius Randle trade has not worked out for them. I certainly do not trust J.J. Redick and the Los Angeles Lakers or
your
Kevin
boy.
Durant.
Your boy.
Yeah, well, Bronny got brought into the picture, and Bron's struggling from three, and it's been a rough year for the Lakers. I think Houston, who I did call, by the way, before the year, you recall, I said Houston was going to be the number 3 seed in the West. And that looks like a pretty good prediction right now. I think that they're a year away. So the way I see it right now, the West may be all bottled up in the middle, but OKC is clearly the best team. And dare I say, they may get through the entire West in 5 games or less. They may pull a Boston from last year.
Are we gonna get the 2016 finals we should have got? Thunder and Cavs?
It's very plausible. I'll put it that way. Very
plausible. That's a question for me. So what are you saying?
Oh, fair. That's a question. Fair or foul?
Yep.
I right now am going to stick to my original finals prediction. So that would be foul. It's Celtics Thunder. But if the Cavs get the right night and the right shot and the right shooting, that can turn into fair very quickly.
We played Boston very well. Lost by 3 without Levert didn't play.
That stupid NBA Cup, which don't even get me started on. If you have a question for me, if you want to hear an old school rant, you will hear one on the NBA Cup.
Well, I actually do have, as a joke, I put the NBA Cup is the dumbest thing the NBA has ever done ever. So that's actually here. Like I'm there.
Outside of last year's All-Star game, that's the most fair thing I think that's ever been said on this show. I don't get it. I think it's stupid. I think the fact I told you, and I've told a lot of people this, I am so glad that 2 of the Cavs losses to Atlanta were in the NBA freaking Cup. Because I didn't want to have to deal with this crap. I didn't want to have to play these extra games. I wanted to get more days off. And now you get to play Brooklyn and you get to play Washington. It was the best thing to ever happen to the Cavs. I think the chords are stupid. I mean, outside of the Cavs chord, which objectively is the best chord in the whole NBA, the other ones, Philadelphia's, I don't even know what the hell kind of paint they threw on the court. The Celtics one looked like a tennis court. And yeah, sure. These guys get, what is it, $1 million or $500K or whatever it is.
Something like that,
yeah. For the 15th man on the bench, he's making more in the NBA Cup than his entire salary. So I guess it's worth it for him. But it's the point of the NBA Cup was to help out with ratings, and it's doing the opposite.
And it's not like the 15 man on the bench is far from making that money either. Like it's not like he's far off. Like I'm pretty sure James Jones was making over $1 million when we had him on our team. It was like 1.5 or something like that.
Like, I just don't get it. It's very gimmicky. And what have I always said about gimmicks in sports, Jalen?
They don't work.
That they are made, and that's why they are the best in professional wrestling only.
Exactly. Now, I know this is a little off topic again, but you brought up professional wrestling, and I know you love the floor, as should the rest of America, because the floor is the best.
One of my favorite game shows. I wrote an article on Voltage Live last year. Unfortunately, Voltage Live lost its original site. We're trying to get the articles back up. But I wrote an article that basically said that is America's next biggest game show. And I was proven to be right on that. And we know this, Jalen, because I don't know if you heard this. Do you know, obviously, the Super Bowl is going to be on Fox this year, that after the Super Bowl, season 3 of the floor is going to be in that premier spot, which is a huge get.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They did I was going to ask you if you saw they did the professional wrestlers. They did
yes. Oh my God, that woman did not know anything. I felt so bad for her.
My God, yeah. I was like, oh man, that was bad. That was really bad. All right, you ready for my next one, sir?
Yes.
This one has to do with the Mets.
Oh.
And I know you're probably thinking, why the hell are we talking about the Mets? But there's one reason, one man that we're talking about the Mets. And what's his name, Brandon?
Juan Soto?
Exactly. The Mets have acquired Soto. Now, with Frankie and Soto on the roster, the Mets are going to make a push for the World Series and win it all.
This year.
Yep. Yeah, this year.
So what's the question? Are they making the World Series?
They're winning the World Series.
In year 1, you know what? I'm actually going to say foul to that. I had said on Brandon's World that I believe that if the New York Mets obviously do not win a World Series in the next 15 years, this contract will be the biggest failure in the history of baseball. And historically, when it comes to large contracts in baseball, your Joe Mauers, your Salvador Perez's, your Mike Trouts, your Bryce Harper's, your Manny Machado's, they have not worked out for their teams. The only one that really has worked out to this point has been Shohei Ohtani going to the Dodgers. And, until somebody knocks off the Dodgers, I don't think they, maybe they don't win the World Series next year, but I think they could certainly be in contention. And in baseball, it's not all about the talent. The talent certainly does help, but it is all about timely pitching, great bullpen, and being hot at the right time.
And one Cleveland Indians team seems to have that, and we got how do we say, effed by the Yankees. So that made me smile seeing Juan Soto going to the Mets. That made me happy, and all you Yankees fans moaning, playing Juan Soto left us. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you guys can just go buy what's his name, Fry from the Braves. Just literally bought out of him from the Braves and took him.
Right, and while the Indians are losing their best defender in Jimenez, but that's just try baseball, folks. Love that. Okay.
The thing I heard is they're going more offensive, going to bring in Juan Brito at second base. We'll see how it works out. I'm sort of indifferent right now because I love Jimenez, especially defensively.
Me too. I was. You know how when I told you back in the day, probably almost 10 years ago, maybe. That's crazy that we've known each other that long, but almost 10 years ago, I told you we traded Kevin Love for Boogie Cousins, and
I lost my mind.
Yeah, that was me. That was me when we got rid of Jimenez. I'm not gonna lie. All right,
go ahead. I'm just gonna look there.
No, go ahead. I want to hear this.
I just think in baseball, like football, I'm very offensive minded.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, I'm very offensive minded. In baseball, I'm a little bit more like defensive minded, where I can live with people not hitting, above the Mendoza line. If you hit 220, but you're the best second baseman in America, and if you're Austin Hedges, the best catcher in America who never lets a ball pass you, I live with that.
I live with that too, but our bats have to wake up. That's what killed us against the Yankees. They're going on 3-4 run splurges, and we can't stop
Well,
them. And then our
if
bats
the
are cold.
MLB had a salary floor, maybe then we could compete with them. And if Brian Rocchio didn't commit those errors, maybe we're in the World Series against the Dodgers and not those stanking Yankees.
Oh Jesus, Rokio really screwed us, and we fell in love with you, Roke, and you just all right. Next dumpster fire. I don't want to get into this. I'm still in pain about it. Michigan lost to or won to Ohio State. I'm not. All right, we're moving on to college football because it's playoff season, and somehow Ryan Day still has a job, which is my next question. Even if the Buckeyes somehow pull a natty out of their behinds, we fire Ryan Day.
Foul. If you win the national championship. If not, Ryan Day will be out on his behind the next day. But if you
Vrabel. Sorry.
Vrabel will not be the new head coach of Ohio State. I don't think Vrabel is going to want to take the path that a certain 72-year-old just took and went to North Carolina. I just don't see Mike Vrabel. But then again, I didn't see Belichick as a college head coach either. What the hell do I know? College football is a mess. I don't care what anybody says. That sport is a mess. The committee made it a mess. The 12-team playoff. None of the teams in it aren't deserving. Some of them are not. And I'm not talking about SMU, by the way. The old ranking system, the bracket, it's a freaking mess, man.
It's the first year they're doing it, so take it easy there, pal.
Oh, they're doing it. They screwed up the entire system. I was the only person in America who said the 4 seed playoff would have been better than the 12 seed playoff. You guys said, oh, the 12 teams are going to have us not doing debate anymore about who the best teams in the country are. And now everybody in the country is bitching about Alabama because no matter how many teams you expand it to, you're going to be bitching about something. I've heard a rumor that they're going to expand it to 16 teams eventually in the CFP. If they do that, you're going to bitch about the number 17 team not making it in the CFP.
I did not. First of all,
I'm not saying you. I'm talking about the general public in America because
first of all, the general public. No, Brandon. I'm going to argue with this. The general public are morons when it comes to sports. Absolute morons. Those
exactly
Bama
what
fans.
I'm telling you is that these people are morons and they're going to bitch about everything.
These beer swelling redneck Bama fans.
Alabama could lose 5 games in a year and they would still say, well, we can beat SMU. Now, again, this is how I would do the CFP. If you're going to do 12 teams, I think they should only do 6. I'm going to say my piece there. But if you're going to do 12 teams, this is the way to me you have to do it. Number one, the conference thing, if you win your conference, you get a bye. Bullshit. Okay? I don't care. I'm not
Oh,
censoring it. Deal with it. That is bullshit. And I'll tell you why. All conferences are not equal. The Big 12, the ACC, I don't care that Belichick's there. It is not the SEC. It is not the Big 10. Let's start there. So that conference thing to me is BS. If you win your conference, it should not guarantee you a first round bye. We need to seed 1v12 regardless of conference, whether it's 8 SEC, 3 Big 10, and an ACC, however you want to do it. Just see the best teams, 1 for 12. Obviously, Notre Dame is not in the conference, so we could throw them in there somewhere. And the second thing is get rid of these dumb, stupid conference championship games because they don't mean anything anymore because Oregon won the Big Ten championship, and
And there's
I could make an argument. Oh, they got to buy. Oregon, in my opinion, got hosed more than
they
Penn
got
State.
screwed. They got screwed.
I think Penn State, who lost the Big Ten championship game, got a way better draw than the team that won it that was undefeated this year.
If I'm Oregon, I'm going to the committee and I'm requesting to be in Penn State spot. Because listen, yeah, you could say, oh, well, Ohio State, they lost to Michigan. Okay, it was a 1-point game when we played Oregon. 1-point game, and you're telling me, so now you win the Big Ten title, win that. Coast through it, no problem. Beat the brakes off of Penn State. Sorry, Josh. You beat the brakes off of them, and then you're thrown to the monsters, and then you're thrown to the big boys of Ohio State or Tennessee. Are you kidding me?
And here's the other thing: they should reseed like the NFL does after every round, because Oregon has to play the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee, and they may still have to play Texas and Georgia just to freaking win the national championship.
Listen. Ohio State fans, we're here. We might not deserve it. We might have got punked on our own field, but we're here. And listen, I don't like Brian Day as much as the next Ohio State fan, but if I'm breaking this down in my head, this is exactly what you wanted with a loss to Michigan, right? So you play Tennessee. You should beat Tennessee. We'll see what Ryan Day, what he's on. He's on
at home. I think a lot of people, Joe Cladd included, has made this case that Ohio State should have actually wanted to be the 9th seed and have to go to Tennessee to get away from their home environment, because it's not going to be a home game for them, because Ryan Day is going to get booed out of the building.
Ryan Day is the most hated person in Ohio since LeBron Raymond James left us on live television, and you cannot change my mind.
Jalen, you know what? There's one person I could think who maybe fit that bill. Hugh Jackson, maybe?
No, because that team was bad. That team was horrible, but this team had the potential to steamroll Michigan, and we still lost.
Yeah. No, you're right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. If you don't have another general college football question about NIL or the transfer portal, I want to go on because I want to make one more point about it.
Go ahead. You can make it.
Okay, so I believe that, and I've said this for years, I was not originally in favor of the NIL. I did not think college athletes should get paid. I thought you were there to go to class. Just like in high school, sports was sort of an extra thing, even if you were working to go there for a professional reason eventually. I thought school should have been the number one thing on all processes of college football. But I get it. The world changes. High school kids are making money. People are making money off crypto now, and Twitch and YouTube. I get it. But I do think that the NIL and the transfer portal have basically become a 365-day year thing in college football, where I actually think coaching in college is harder now than it is to coach in the National Football League. And college football does not have a governing body. We have all these commissioners of the conferences. There is not one overarching commissioner. Say what you want about Rob Manfred or Adam Silver or Gary Bettman or Goodell. They are at least commissioners of their sport and oversee things. College football has no rules.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more, B. I couldn't agree with you more. With that being said, we're off of college football because I was going to ask you about the certain 72-year-old man.
Please ask me.
You want this question?
Yes, I do.
Oh, man. Well, one of my first questions is he's going to fall in love with one of the 19-year-old cheerleaders, but we're not going to ask that on this show because, Bill Belichick loves his 24-year-olds, probably 24 and lower if you ask me. But
just listening on audio, folks, I am shaking my head just in disbelief that this is actually happening. Not only the fact that Bill is dating a 23-year-old, oh my God, Bill Belichick is head coach of North Carolina. I'm still. Today's date is December 12th, 2024. For anyone wondering, I'm still in disbelief.
Okay, we're going to go here. Bill Belichick will win a national championship in however long he stays with Carolina.
Well, Jalen, I think that, we got to get ready for North Carolina State. And,
yes, he broke Belichick out.
And, they do a great job on special teams. He's a great player. And hell no, he is not winning a national championship at North Carolina. He is not staying more than 1 year at North Carolina. He's going to be there for a year. He's going to burn his 400-page binder or whatever the hell this crap's about. He's giving this job to his son in a year, and he's going to go probably be the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's my prediction. You heard it here first.
Oh, Brandon, hearing you bash Bill Belichick is so beautiful to hear, considering how much you used to love Belichick.
Ever since, Tom Brady left, the team has gone significantly worse, but, at least we're better than the Jets, and, we're on to Cincinnati.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Oh, this is a cluster of just, oh, man. Okay. All right, enough of Bill Belichick and his 19-year-old, 20-year-old women, because that's weird enough.
Are you sure? I don't know. She's pretty hot to me. I mean...
We're gonna talk about your Philadelphia Eagles for a second.
Oh.
Listen, Saquon Barkley. This is about Saquon looking like he did at Penn State. Shout out to Josh. Second shout out this episode. Although I'm not bashing your team this time because Ohio State owns you. Anyway,
cannot believe the impact that he's had. Way more than I thought he would.
Anyway, Saquon Barkley, although he won't, he should win MVP.
I'm going to surprise you. My answer is foul.
Wow.
Saquon's been great. I think there are clear two MVPs in the NFL. One of them is the guy who, at the time of this recording, is playing the Detroit Lions this weekend, your Lions, who I thought leaked ahead of everybody in the MVP race with that incredible performance. Obviously, the 6 touchdowns in that loss against the Rams. But, Jalen, I'm going to tell you something. I know he's got Derrick Henry. I know he's won it back-to-back years. I know there's voter fatigue. But do you realize that this man, Lamar Jackson, the guy who wears number 8 in Baltimore, he has 3 interceptions this year. And all of them are on tipped passes where the ball hit his receiver in the hands. Meaning this man should have 0 interceptions on his resume. And we know what the Baltimore Ravens are without him. I think the Eagles could win games without Saquon Barkley. I don't know if Buffalo or Baltimore can win a single game without their starting quarterback, which is why, for me, those two are my favorite to win MVP. And by the way, if the Bengals had any sort of defense, I think Joe Burrow would be the front runner.
Oh, poor Shiesty. Poor Joe Shiesty. Oh, man. What a guy. I love Joe. Listen, he's in our division. He's probably going to kick our ass for the next week.
Think about the division you're in. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and all of a sudden Russell Wilson's turned back the clock back into Seattle Ruffs.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is back to prime Jameis Winston.
and,
480 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions.
and a certain player at a certain position wearing a certain number on a certain football team is out on vacation.
Yeah, that pissed me off. But we don't need to talk about that, Brendan. It's okay. It's okay. I can't say that on air.
See, if you're seeing me on video right now, you may know what I'm doing. On audio, you're gonna have no idea as I am motioning a certain gesture that I think Deshaun Watson would love.
Getting a little getting a little
A
loose,
touch,
Brendan.
getting in that little deep tissue there.
You getting a little loose,
Yeah.
loosening you up, huh? Oh, I don't want to talk about the Browns till next year. Okay, that's if you're gonna have me on to talk Super Bowl, that's fine. But please do not make me talk about the Browns until next year.
This is your run, and we got 15 minutes left. Go ahead, fair or foul.
All right, we're gonna talk about we might. I'll ask one more Browns question because I put it in here, and I love this man. We're gonna talk about Nick Chubb.
Oh, you mean the guy that Ken Dorsey refuses to use?
Yeah. Yeah. Nick Chubb will leave the Browns this year. Request a trade, one out, no question. Let me know, Brent.
That's the hardest question you've asked. And I'll tell you why. There's a lot of factors in that. A, who is the coach? B, who is the general manager? C, whoever is picking players, do they feel like Nick Chubb is washed or do they feel like it's the offensive line? Because I feel like it's the latter. Oh, that Nick Chubb will not be a Brown at the end of this year. You know what? I think it's foul. I'll appease all you Brown fans out there. I think Nick Chubb comes back. I think he deserves a whole offseason to get right. Maybe a brand new offensive line coach, potentially a new head coach, potentially a new general manager. But I do think, and I said this a few years ago, Jalen, you remember 2 years ago when I was sitting at this desk telling people the Browns should trade Nick Chubb.
Oh yeah, I do, and I gave you a mouthful for it or a earful, and you know that.
And the funny thing is, now all you guys want to trade Nick Chubb, and I'm the one saying I don't know if you do it yet.
I don't want to trade him. Listen, I don't. I want to do a lot of things to this Browns team, but one of them, I want Batman to stay in Cleveland, and I want Stefanski as far out of Cleveland as possible. That's just me. You can hear the pain in my voice, Brandon. You know what this team does to me on a weekly basis? You know what it's like to be a Browns fan?
Move on to something happier-ish.
All right, you want to move on to something happier? We'll move on to something happier because I know you'll be happy to hear this, and I want you to know that this one hurts me too, but I know you'll be happy. AEW will close its doors by 2026. I'll give them another year, but they're going to close their doors get bought out, I'll say. WCW.
You're going to be surprised by this answer, knowing me. I'm going to say foul. I think they're going to be the next TNA. I think they're just going to stick around. Tony Khan's got money. My guy, J.K. Adam Copeland, I said it at the time, and I will stay true to this. He did a Michael Jordan to the Wizards. And basically is going to AEW, and people are going to forget about it in a couple years, and he may have his retirement match in AEW because that's what AEW is pretty much known for now. It's retirement home community. I think eventually TNA may surpass them by 2026, the second most popular promotion in wrestling again. If that was the question, it would be fair. But no, they have too much money. They do have a media deal. They're not going to completely close its doors.
Listen, the fact that TNA is doing better than with as much buzz as AEW had at the start, the fact that TNA is squashing them is diabolical. Dixie Carter, you are the most diabolical woman in wrestling outside of Stephanie McMahon, and I swear to God, I love you, Dixie Carter. I will forever love you. You gave me some of the best years of wrestling of my life, but
it's ironic. It actually is the definition of irony that Tony Khan started up AEW and Cody Rhodes and Jericho and the Young Bucks because everybody in the wrestling universe could not stand Mr. McMahon's booking. And we're not going to talk about you know who and his lawsuits, but it's ironic that Tony Khan has now turned into booking the way Vince McMahon booked.
Yeah, he's killing his own company. It's fine. It's fine, Tony. You take your millions and you break the heart of every Spot Fest fan, as you like to call us. You break our hearts, Tony. You go ahead, pal. You go right ahead, Tony.
But AEW is where the best wrestle because there would be no AEW if it wasn't for Ricochet. Yeah, okay.
That one hurt me, Brandon. Why did you have to say that? Oh man. Oh gosh. Okay. I have a couple more. How many more are we allowed to do? Because I got some.
Depending on how fast we go, maybe 3 to 5 more.
I have a question that it's sports related, but it's not about a sports team. And I know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
It's about a sports show. Pat McAfee and the boys have the best show on sports television right now.
Oh, you know what? You're not gonna like the answer. I'm gonna say how objectively. I think it's in the top 3.
Wait.
I think number one.
Can I guess who you're giving one to?
Go ahead.
Is it the Herd?
No, but Herd is number 2.
Wow. Okay, I have no idea then.
Number 1 is, to me, without a doubt, they have the best chemistry. They have a phenomenal show. They have the best segments, literally in all sports, and they literally promote it as the best segments in all sports. First things first.
First, yeah. Do we count Stephen A. and Ocho the Nightcast? Can we?
You mean Shannon and Ocho? Yeah, it's a sports show. I listen to it occasionally. I don't listen to it all the time, but when I do, it's good. I think they oftentimes talk too much over each other. And I do think Shannon Sharp, as much as I love him, and you know how much I love him, I do think he's getting back into that Skip Bayless territory of I'm a former athlete and I know more football than you do. That's always annoyed me about athletes. It's why I don't watch The Facility because I think Emmanuel Acho does the same thing, and I don't like him at all.
Yeah, no.
I do think a very underrated show, and I did not think this was going to be a good show at the start, but it's really turned into something, is Breakfast Ball with Craig Carton, obviously Danny Perkins, and then Mark Schwartz.
I haven't seen a lot of it. Is it good?
It's very good. It's my go-to morning show. Danny Parkins. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Not Danny Perkins. Danny Parkins, Craig Carton, and Mark Schwartz. I do find it funny that they basically took the Carton show and booted Carton to the curb and let him stick around, but he's not the host anymore. That was kind of funny, but yeah, it's a good show.
All right. Now,
we're probably going to have time for 3 more. I'll let you ask like your top 3. I kind of want a non-sports one if you have one.
Oh, okay. A non-sports one. Let me scroll here. I got a couple movie ones here if you're down to answer those.
Okay, I'm not a sports movie or a movie in general guy, so we'll see if I can answer.
I got some music ones here.
Okay.
That'll be interesting because I know you're a fan of country music, but I don't know what style of country music is.
Very new. I'm not a very old school guy, I'll tell you that.
he is not a very old school guy, folks. This man is in the now. This man is the best on the internet doing it. He's in the now with Brandon Lewis. But
Well, I'm not very old school. We just got to get ready for the Jets today.
damn it, Brandon, I'm trying to lock in. I'm trying to focus. All right, I'm gonna ask you about. I'm gonna ask you about the Swifties here. I'm gonna ask you about
Oh
that.
yes, okay, yes. I've been waiting for this question.
You're Brandon Lewis is a Swiftie?
Yeah, 100%, baby. We're
Oh
all
boy.
in.
Oh man. So
In
I can
your
say,
wildest dreams.
oh man. Oh man. You
Cause
bring me back to
baby,
some
it's a love story. Baby,
oh,
just say yes.
my karaoke song. For all you men out there who say, oh, whoa, you listen to Taylor Swift? No, I don't listen to new Taylor Swift. I listen to old Taylor Swift. But if you refuse to listen to female artists, you I can't even say what I want to say, but
All right,
you
well,
but we're gonna
Jalen,
talk about the Swift.
before you get us in trouble, let's talk about the Swifties.
Let's talk about the Swifties. All right. Taylor Swift, by the time she's done recording music, I don't know why I thought of this. I just put this on here, but probably because I saw TikTok or something. Anyway, Taylor Swift, by the time she is done with music, will be the biggest artist of all time.
Ooh, of all time. You know what? You know what? You got my wheels spinning. Uh, fair.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely agree with you.
I think
Absolutely.
her. I think her popularity is bigger than Michael Jackson. I think it's bigger than Prince. I've never seen a musical movement. I think it's bigger than the Beatles. Have you ever seen?
Wow.
Have you ever in your life seen a fan base literally be defined by girls who never watched a single play of football in their life run to the TV because Taylor Swift is in a press box because her boyfriend is playing in a game where they tackle people and that's all they know about the game?
No offense to women out there. We know there are women that know ball. There's definitely Molly, for example, on ESPN.
There's a
No,
lot of women out there that know football. I'm talking about most of the Taylor Swift fan base, and we know because we've seen the numbers and what they've done for Chiefs games.
they're making custom Swift Chief jerseys, and they don't even know who the head coach is. They don't even know. They don't even know what a check down is, Brandon. Do you understand that?
That's what I'm saying. All right, here's the deal, Jalen. We got time for one more fair or foul question.
All right. So now can I go back to sports, or do you want me to reach
I
in my
want
bag?
you to throw your best question on the board. It's sports or non-sports.
Oh man, my best question. Let's see. Ooh. This might get your wheels turning. I don't know if it's my best question, but it might get your wheels turning. LeBron Raymond James, your boy from Akron, Ohio, born on whatever time. I know you know this by heart, but
1230,
there you
1980.
go. There you go. He will shock the world and retire at the end of this season.
Hey, Jalen, you read my mind. I've been saying this since the day Bronny got drafted. This isn't even a question for me. I don't think Bryce is retired. I don't think he's going to make it for Bryce. I don't even know if Bryce wants to be in the NBA with his father. I think LeBron has been stacking up stats the past few years playing for a bad Lakers team because I think he realizes the only way in young people's minds, not yours, but in some people's minds, for him to chase Michael Jordan is not going to be by championships. It's going to be by longevity. And I think LeBron has nothing left to prove. I think he wanted to wait till Bronny got drafted, play 1 year with his son. I don't think LeBron is going to want a media tour or a retirement tour the way Kobe Bryant did. I think he's just going to shock the world, do what Michael Jordan did, and hang up the boots.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And guys, if that's my last question, I want to throw this out here about LeBron. You guys have heard me bash LeBron, especially you, Brandon. But when number 23 puts down the ball, leaves those sneakers at center court, a part of me is going to leave. Probably a good part of my body, the most hate in my body, but who am I going to root against now?
Well, I will tell you this, and to your point, when LeBron does leave the NBA, I know we have a lot of young stars, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, SGA, Jokic. We have young stars. I don't know if we have that guy that gets us to a TV set. It's Wemby, but I don't know if America knows about Wemby much yet. I think the NBA ratings will go on a massive decline, even more than they already are, if this is LeBron's last year.
Brandon, I might shed a tear when LeBron retires. I'm not. I am LeBron James' biggest hater. I don't get. My first memory before we go off the air. Allow me to say this, please. My first memory of basketball is when he absolutely destroyed Jason Terry. Put him on an absolute poster. I had that poster. I had it in my room for a school project because I didn't hate him yet. I didn't fully hate him yet. He betrayed me, and I didn't want to see that he win, but damn, was that 2012 Brown really good. But when he goes, it's going to be a sad day in the NBA. And you know that.
I agree with that, Jalen. And you know what? That's all the time we have for fair or foul because, Jalen, thank you for joining me. But just like last year, coming up next on the Brands World Christmas Special, I've already done my top 10 sports stories of the year of 2024. You've heard Jalen Sandvick. We played fair or foul, but we got to do the WWE Slammy Awards for
Let's go.
2024.
Let's go. You gave me the following the Slammy segment before it. Let's go.